This right here is the Gravastar Mercury M1 Pro. The first thing you notice when you take this mouse out is the design. The mouse has an alien looking frame and it has many holes in the mouse. If you saw this on somebody's setup, you'd notice it instantly. The design is either something you hate or love, but you gotta give them credit for being different. The frame is built with magnesium alloy, which feels cool to the touch. It also made the mouse feel like a tank. The build quality is super good and feels extremely durable. Even with all these holes, the mouse had zero flex at all and felt solid. But you also notice the weight of 88 grams. Now this isn't crazy heavy, but in today's market, 88 grams definitely is not light. What makes this feels even heavier is the weight balancing. The mouse is front heavy, which makes this mouse feel heavier. If you care about the weight, this mouse isn't for you. Something else that is different is the shape. When you're holding onto the mouse, your fingers don't have a comfortable and flat spot to grip on, especially the pinky. You can see the sides of the mouse have edges and holes that feel different from the smooth side on most mice. Not only that, but the finish and material of this mouse is not grippy, and sweat does make your mouse way more slippery. My normal grip where my pinky lies in the back does not have a good place to grip. There is grip tape in the box, but that only goes in the front, but most of the weird grippings from the back. The shape itself has an aggressive curve on the sides, and I was able to work claw and fingertip on this mouse, but struggled with palm. The mouse button space also isn't very large, so doing anything like butterfly clicking or just using two fingers on the same side isn't that great. Not only that, but the mouse buttons are also very slanted, where if you were to have two fingers on the same side, it would just be a weird position. The switches are light and spammable. They have no pre or post travel. The side buttons feel snappy and I had no problems using them in game. They were at first a little bit hard to press because their placement in the back is a little bit too far, but this didn't take long for me to get used to. The scroll wheel has defined steps and has no problems using it to quickly switch between items in game. The stock skates are good and can glide smoothly, but are thin and can have problems with soft mouse pads. The software itself was pretty easy to set up and use. There are a lot of things you can adjust, such as debounce, polling rate, and DPI. This is also how you pair your mouse to the 4K dongle. So the sensor is a 3395 and performed well in game, and I had zero problems with spin out or anything else. Adding to this, the mouse also has a 4K polling rate. This was my first time using a mouse with 4K polling rate, and all I gotta say is that it felt smooth to play with. Now, is that any different from 1K polling rate? I'm not too sure, so if you feel like 4K is a big deal to you, then this mouse has it here. But to me, I felt a slight difference, but that was most likely placebo. Keep in mind that turning on 4K will also lower your battery life. Speaking of battery life, the mouse is rated for 146 hours with 1K polling rate with RGB off, and 65 hours with RGB on. I haven't been able to properly test the battery life, but the battery life is good if you're looking at it without 4K polling rate. At 4K, you will get 36 hours with RGB off and 30 with it on. And if you're willing to sacrifice a decent amount of battery life, then you could turn on 4K polling rate. But if you forget to charge a lot and want a long battery life, keep it to 1K. Overall, at $130, if you want the 4K polling rate and the battery worn edition, you're not getting the best for gaming because there are a lot of conventional mice that are just a safe choice. And I can't automatically recommend them to people because of the weird shape and problems with gripping. Not only that, but the 88 grams is pretty heavy compared to most of the market nowadays. If you can get this mouse to work and can grip the mouse fine, then you are getting a pretty decent gaming mouse that looks cool. The specs were also pretty good, having a 3395, 4K polling rate, and a magnesium frame. I would say the build and design heavily will determine if you buy this mouse. If you want the aesthetic and you are not looking for the very best in the market and just want a pretty decent gaming mouse, the Gravastar M1 Pro is a good option. That's pretty much it. Peace.